Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video we'll be playing on the test server and showcasing the new Titan that is coming to 1v1 and 2v2, the Mountain. I'll be up against Blood, who was kind enough to play against me on the test server, and he's going to go for Giant Specialist with the Arc Lights and Steel Balls. Now I decided to go for a Stormcaller Crawler opener here, and I have the Typhoon Specialist. It should allow me to perhaps sell it and gain some resources to be able to invest into that mountain. It is basically the same as the other Titans, so 200 unlock cost, and it has the same upkeep as the Abyss at 150. The War Factory, in its current state on the test server, seems to get buffed. It will also go down to 150 upkeep per round. And I mean, that's about all that you need to know about it. It's somewhat of a mix between a factory that's incapable of spawning items and like a gigantic fortress, really. As you will hear, there is also new music. This is not me adding it in. This is the new soundtrack that is available in the game. So if you've got any ideas about it, any opinions, post them down below. And yeah, let's get into this one. So opponent here starts with Steel Balls. And yeah, pushing into my Stormcallers does have the advantage. Looks like we are going to be losing out on that first round. Kind of expected. And the Steel Balls even able to pick up a level there. That's not ideal. Not exactly what you want to see. Now round number 2. Get immediate unit reinforcements to perhaps help us out. And I'm thinking, alright, I need something to deal with these enemy Steel Balls. Stall them, deal damage to them. And I don't think that'll be the Tarantula. I could go Fang, but I mean, it's a nice like amount of deployments, but it doesn't really add anything substantial to the board apart from some stall. But, you know, he has some arc lights there. So I feel like going for a beefier unit, something like the Fire Badger here, should go well. If I place it vertically, then it should stall the Steel Balls for some time. And at level 2, it has some okay DPS when all three are shooting the same target to perhaps take down more than just the Crawlers. Opponent here decides to take the Fangs. Kind of screens one in the front and then defends the flank with the other one. And he decides to pick up a Crawler and a Wasp, which I'll put on my flank here in the back corner, going for a very aggressive play. And we're going to decide to at least buy a Fang here to kind of funnel everything into the Fire Badger and make sure that it doesn't get immediately locked onto, so it survives that little extra longer. We're going to pick up another Fang from the looks of it to kind of screen this flank and also kind of this diagonal. And then we're leveling our tower. Happy with that, considering there are some units coming at it. And let's see, how do we do this turn? Looks like we're doing really well. Fire Badger is killing all of those Steel Balls. He didn't opt to take that level that was available. And while the Wasps have spawned in, his main board has already died, and we still have some Fangs left. If those can somehow manage to stay at the back, then we should be able to win this round. And I'd say that that is a good recovery from what was a pretty scary matchup and not the best first round for us. Just gotta wait here until the Fangs shoot those Wasps, and they are going to do so. It's close, but about 5 of them survive, so we do just fine. Now round number 3. Some decent items, redeployment available too. I decided to pick up that heavy armor, fantastic item for things like Steel Balls, Sledgehammers, and of course also Fire Badger. And so that's what we're going to put it on. And then I decided to sell out of my Stormcallers because the one on the right wasn't doing too much, and this allows me to buy a Farseer. Yes, you see this correctly. Farseer is going to be a regular unit. Like the other 300 costs, the Wraith and the Scorpion, it's going to have a unlock cost of 50. And then of course they cost 300 a pop. And well, that's going to be really nice to defend against these type of plays. It's also very nice to try and defend against, you know, potential air units. Like these Phoenixes, just having them on the board covering the flanks is often very useful. So I'm very happy and positive about this change. Looks like the Wasps, though, will attack from another angle this time, and with the level, they might be able to grab the tower As you will see, the Farseer shoots slightly slower than you might be used to, as they did nerf it or change it slightly, as it now has a 2-second attack interval as opposed to 1.6, which it had previously. And, well, we do get debuffed. Can the Farseer take down the remaining Phoenixes? Seems like it's doing just fine. And even with that 7-second debuff, we managed to pick up the round. Right, round number 4. We get our Power Spike, the Typhoon's available, and Missile Strike, you will notice, also gets a bit of a change. Now a 50 cost blue spell instead of a quote-unquote free spell. And the Enhancement Module too, a little bit more expensive. 250 on live servers, 300 right now on the Season 4 test server. Opponent going to grab some range on the arc lights, try and clear my chaff a bit faster, perhaps setting up for a move. Wasps are going to be retrieved back to the main army. And I have this Typhoon. Am I going to opt to keep it? I think it's not a bad idea. Normally I wouldn't be opposed to selling it, but into this board with the Fangs, those Wasps could be attacking us from all sides. And even the Phoenixes really doesn't look too bad. So yeah, we're going to put it here on the right side to try and screen against an attack from the flank. And then the rest should be safe, as I say that. We do have these Wasps beaconed in from the middle. Decide to go range on the Fire Badgers and pick up a few more. One to deal with the middle, and then another one here to deal with the potential flank, either the back or the shallow flank. And well, there are some units that show up there. Arclight and Crawler. And then we also pick up a shield because I didn't want to get hit by that missile strike. We hit a nice one there on top of those Phoenixes. At least that's going to reduce the DPS that's available. Typhoon going to turn, and so we're not going to get debuffed by this play. Things are looking really good right now. Lots and lots of units left alive. Typhoons, Farseers, and, well, these units all deal 300 damage, so that'll really start chipping away at the opponent's hit points. There we go. Now he's almost down to 2k. And as we're getting into round 5, we should start getting the money to buy a mountain. And, well, because it is the test server, that is exactly what we're going to be doing. The thing that's worth the most here would be the Wraith, and then set it across 2 turns. But if you want the most money right now, we should pick up this Sabertooth, sell it, and then get into the mountain. Opponent, by the way, deciding to pick up another Titan, the one that's been in the game the longest, the War Factory. And in its current state, War Factory is heavily buffed. Not only is its upkeep 150 per round, it also has an efficient maintenance buff, which will now cost 150 instead of 200 on the live servers. And then on top of that, it has 9.6k damage. Now, myself and many others are hoping that they will not go through with this change. The War Factory on live servers, I believe, is about 7.1k, 7.2k damage. So this is a massive buff. Considering it has 4 cannons and each of those cannons can shoot every 1.8 seconds, that is a crazy amount of bonus DPS. And yeah, well, as you will see, it absolutely chews through basically anything in its path. We're going to buy the mountain, and I decide to go for the gun-launched missile first. I don't think this is a good tech, by the way, but we were just testing stuff out. So the gun-launched missile, it shoots basically a big rocket punch every 15 seconds. It only shoots one, but it does reload. From the games I've played, it doesn't seem like that good of a tech. What else is available on it? If you haven't seen any of the introductions that are available on YouTube, it has mountain plating as well, which allows it to block 1000 damage per level it has, which is a crazy tech. And this is probably going to be the way that most people play it as a finisher. The same way that you would use a blue factory with armor, the mountain level 2 with that heavy armor plating or mountain plating is yeah, definitely going to cause trouble to lots and lots of boards if there's no melter on there, basically, or a factory, right? Other techs, going to see them soon. As we do lose. At least we managed to kill the factory, which is a good thing. But yeah, other techs, we've got Saturation Bombardment. This is an okay tech, not amazing though. It's one of the few techs available that give you range, but it also overloads the cannons, which means that it can get stuck shooting an entire salvo of many shells into a pack of chaff. And then aside from that, it has extended range ammo. This is kind of an interesting one. It gives it 160 range at the cost of 75% attack. We do have a game with this, which I'll probably show probably in a video tomorrow. And you might be able to cook with that. So this tech, I think it's worth keeping on and testing. There is smoke bombs. It launches 10 smoke bombs every 45 seconds. Don't mind the typo that is shown here. And then it has efficient maintenance as well, which is the same as the factory and the abyss. Now in this game we decide to move our mountain to the right side board. I thought maybe he would sell the factory, but he actually opts to keep it and even level it up, I believe. Gives it overload 2. And this is where, yeah, this thing gets out of control. 21,000 damage per shot, per cannon. We decide to pick up the mountain plating and try to deal with this advance on the right side. I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to slow down this factory on the left and win the right convincingly, perhaps even get a tower debuff. Other techs that are available to this is anti-air, which will let the cannons fire at enemy air units, but I believe that it currently does cost or take away 50% attack as well, so stacking that with this extended range ammo I think is not something you'll want to do. Current game though, factory here pushing in, and we'll have to see if the mountain is strong enough to take this beast down, because yeah, it is very scary. That gun launched missile, yeah, you can see here it takes down like some units here and there, but I don't think it's worth the tech just to, you know, take down an arc light every 15 seconds. Will we be able to win though? That overload, yep. And you can see here what I meant. This factory damage is completely out of control on the test server. And it will just mow down our mountain. And that means we enter round number 7. Mountain not ready to level. And I decide to go for Ignite on my Fire Badgers. Don't mind the text, by the way, on this test server. They're not the same as on the live servers for me. I didn't go through like all of my setups, so I am actually running Fire Badger Ignite, but in this scenario, I don't mind it too much. Opponent is not running Photon on there. Of course, they can unlock Farseer and give it Photon later, but Fire Badger Ignite didn't seem too bad. From what I could see in that round, the Fire Badgers were getting lock-ons on the factory, and well, it takes about 16 seconds for anything to die to the Ignite effect. Now the factory going to show up. Elite recruited on the right side. Going to face down our level 2 mountain. We'll have to see how this performs. And then of course we have the Missile Strike available again. Trying to get rid of this Phoenix pack. As you can see, it's second on damage. So it's been doing quite a bit. And then we also pick up more Fangs with Shield, because our opponent only is relying on Arc Lights for now to chaff clear. If you can stall more, then hopefully we can apply that Ignite for longer. And also our mountain gets a bit more of a chance to win. Let's see. Right side could probably use some chaff clear, I will say, but you can see the mountain is now locked onto the factory, and its damage is not bad at all. All of its cannons, which can shoot different targets, although it still has a tendency to shoot the same target, but they're all facing forward. So its damage is not bad at all against bigger targets. Unlike the factory, which does have guns in the back that can't always shoot forward, although with the current changes, I think that'll matter too much when it deals almost 10k per shot. And yeah, here we go. The mountain prevails. I think the Ignite there did fantastic. And round number 8, A nuke is available. Don't think I want to go for that, because it doesn't do too much into the enemy board. I mean, the factories can easily tank it, and yeah, with that being the case, I felt like it wasn't worth the investment. Opponent is indeed going to unlock and buy 2 Farseers with Photon, so we'll have to sit through that effect for the first 20 seconds before we can apply the Ignite. And well, in the spirit of the test server, I decided to level up my mountain twice. Once normally and once with the intensive that was back off cooldown. So we have a level 4 mountain available now. And because I didn't click efficient maintenance, I didn't really want to buy more of them. Not that I had the money for it, but gotta be a bit careful whenever you are having to pay for the upkeep every round. You can't just like willy-nilly spam a bunch of mountains and then next turn find out that you're down like 450 resources. Opponent levels the factory. It's now level 3 factory versus level 4 mountain. Left side, we're going to go for that shield. Opponent does the same. We tried to land some oil just to get rid of the chaff. The idea was if he can get rid of at least the chaff, then it'll make it much, much easier for the mountain to clean up, assuming it does win in the fight on the right side. And then, yeah, we're just picking up some more fangs. Right now, the opponent isn't really dealing with that. Let's see, let's maybe try and focus a bit here on the right side and see how this factory does into our level 4 mountain. As you can see here, some of the guns were shooting at different targets. And factory inching closer. And oh my days, like that damage is ridiculous as it hugs our mountain. We will take it down right before the debuff. The left side, that factory, managing to go in. Of course, it was Photon, so the Ignite effect, I think, only doing something there in the very final moments. Now it comes down to our big mountain. Can it kill the units that can damage it? Because that's the thing about this mountain plating. Against Phoenixes that deal 3k per shot, this doesn't really do anything. Because the level 4 mountain plating blocks 4,000. So yeah, you will definitely need melters or abyss or, I mean, something that deals a lot of damage, like a factory, to take this down when it has the mountain plating and some levels. Like you can see, they're not even tickling it. There's just, the bar is not going down at all. Absolutely crazy tech. And we will win the round, but it's not enough to finish our opponent, who's still at 571 hit points. Round number 9, unit reinforcement shell. And I need something to kill that factory on the left. And I didn't really feel like investing in another mountain. So the steel balls look the most appealing to me. Scorpion Acid wouldn't work, of course, because opponent has Photon. But steel balls with range, with the solid front line of chaff that we have, might just be able to lock on and take this down. So that's what we're going to go for. Opponent picks up the steel balls as well. Goes for Mech Div instead and then picks a third tech on their factory, the one spawn tech that they're running, that's steel ball production. And this will spawn steel balls with Mech Div enabled too. And yeah, my chaff clear here right now, not the best, I have to admit. I could really do with some Fire Badgers on the right side. Mountain, level 5, I mean, we have to pick up the level where possible. We are using some missiles to try and kill some of these crawlers. Opponent does put down a missile interceptor, though. And, well, the most important thing here is, can we stall this left side for long enough? Or rather, can we clear the chaff well enough so that these steel balls can lock onto that factory and we don't have to worry about it? Let's see, let's see. Alright, Fire Badgers clearing the way. Right side, though. Ew, those units are getting very close. Some steel balls are locked on to the mountain. But same thing on that factory. And as I say that, actually I believe that these steel balls deal no damage to the mountain. We'll have to check. But I believe low-level steel balls don't ramp up enough to be able to take down a high-level mountain with the plating. And, well, sadly, the factory managed to survive as it's spawning more level 3 steel balls. Opponent is not going to go down without a fight. We'll have to send this to round number 10. Yep, there we go. Round number 10. Incendiary bomb shows up, and, well, I'm happy to pick it, because from what I could see, the right side was mostly struggling, because crawlers were getting in the way of this mountain locking onto the factory. Factory, which is now level 4, by the way. Of course, we have intensive training available, and, well, you already know what we have to do. Level 6 mountain in the making. Left side I was very happy with. We do shield, of course, because we got to protect against that enemy incendiary bomb. Taking the lone, temp range is going to be mandatory as well, I would say. Going to use this missile strike on the wasps, because I could see that my Farseer was dying every now and then, and the wasps are the most annoying thing here. Missiles all the way on the flank, just trying to get rid of as much chaff as possible. If this mountain can lock on, then I think it should be able to take down the factory. Left side factory, level 3 as well, by the way, but from how the round was looking, I feel like these steel balls got a really easy lock on, and I'm not too worried about that side. I think it's mostly going to come down to this abomination. Level 5 War Factory against level 6 Mountain. Will we be able to stop it, or will the factory prevail? It deals 53, almost 54,000 damage with each of its 4 guns. Fire lands, shield breaks instantly, and the Mountain has managed to find the lock-on on the factory. And with that, just look at how fast it's going down. There we go. It will kill it. Left side, the factory is already melted. I think with that, we've managed to secure the win against the factory. Absolutely crazy game. Now, of course, I was trying out some stuff here. Would I play this the same way on live servers? Probably not. But yeah, it was a fun one to try and make this mountain work. And, well, we got a level 6, dealing over 2 million damage from the looks of things, and properly carrying. Now, the takeaways from this is I'm not entirely sure what you want to build on the mountain. We went for that saturation bombardment in the end, which is why I was kind of bursting the factory, right, with the 8-second reload instead of 2 seconds, which is what it normally has. I feel like a lot of these techs are a bit wacky. We can go quickly into the unit modification tab and have a look, but I feel like the mountain plating is a very clear cheese tech, but apart from that, I'm not sure what you would use it for. I do have another game where we go extended range ammo and we try to pair it with something like siege mode acid scorpions to make up for that damage loss, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And then there's like other like quirky techs like the smoke bomb, which is alright, but I feel like you don't want to like buy a Titan just for this effect. Photon loop, again, if your opponent buys a melter or something, this is not going to do that much. The anti-air is interesting, but you lose 50% attack for it. And yeah, unlike something like a factory, which has the option to like overload its cannons easily, has techs like normal range, and can even spawn its own chaff, it's just more vulnerable, right? Even the Abyss like has better techs and it's flying, so tends to stay a little bit safer than this. But we'll have to see. Anyway, if you've got any ideas, any opinions about the mountain, about the stuff that you've seen, please put them down below. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to stay up to date with latest content, please consider subscribing. If you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. And with that being said, take care guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.